Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's LinkedIn Loving Live, where we are shining a light on the world's leading B2B social media platform. That is, of course, LinkedIn. And I'm delighted today to be joined by B2B marketing strategist Cara Stanford, who's going to talk to us about why we need to get intimate with our ideal clients, because it's the key to better marketing and better conversations on LinkedIn. So we all know, of course, LinkedIn is the platform for B2B, but what we really need to make it work is to understand the people we're trying to reach, aka our ideal clients. Or another term that's being bandied around a lot at the moment that I keep hearing is ICP. ICP, ideal client profile. So you've got customer personas, avatars, ideal clients, target audience. It's all the same thing. We need to understand who they are so that we can go in and get in front of them. So I'm absolutely delighted that Cara is joining me today to dig into what really means to get intimate with your ideal clients, why it matters, and how it can help us attract and engage the right people on LinkedIn. So welcome, Cara. It's lovely to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much, Judy. Delighted to be here.
I'm super excited. So just before we start, if you are new to these love-ins and wondering what the heck they are short and bite-sized LinkedIn learnings over lunch. And each month I'm joined by a guest expert to share their expertise and subjects to help support your LinkedIn activities and results. Now, I do like to make these love-ins as interactive as possible. So if you do have any questions, please pop them in the comments box on the event page. It'll be just underneath the video. And we have a little icebreaker question. So I'd love to know, do you know what is keeping your ideal clients awake at night at the moment? You know, just pop yes or no into the comments box. It'd be great to know if you actually know that. And if you don't, you're in the right place because we're going to find out.
Thinking if you don't, hooray! Hopefully we'll get some questions then, Judy.
Exactly, absolutely. Right, okay, well, let's start with just understanding what do we mean by getting intimate with our ideal clients then, Cara?
So what we mean is getting into their heads. So I think traditionally with marketing, and even now, a lot of marketing is focused on finding out about your clients using something called geodemographic factors. That's stuff like how old are they? What's their age? Where do they live? Where do they work? How much money do they earn? What's their job role? All of these things, which are really important, especially when you're using a platform LinkedIn, because you've got to tick all those boxes. But they don't go far enough. And I've got a cracking example of how they don't go far enough. So say, for example, imagine that your target audience, you go, right, I want to attract men in their 70s who are millionaires with multiple properties and quite a portfolio. Well, until a couple of years ago, you would have had King Charles and Ozzy Osbourne, Prince of Darkness, in that segment. And that's where you see very different people. That's where you see that this geodemographic stuff just does not go far enough. So what you have to do is get into understanding what's called psychographics, and that's in their head. What are their hopes, their fears, their dreams, their ambitions? What keeps them awake at night? And when you start to understand some of their emotions and their motivations, that's when you can really get intimate with your ideal clients.
That is so fascinating, isn't it? Because you couldn't imagine two very different people there, could you? Ozzy Osbourne or King Charles and stuff. And so, if we applied just a geodemographics, the same messaging for both of them, probably wouldn't be able to.
It wouldn't work at all. It wouldn't work. No. It wouldn't appeal to either of them necessarily, or you'd kind of, and that's what marketing in the past. That's where marketing went through some of those phases where it was really quite crude and quite broad brush, quite kind of, we're going to assume that you are all the same because you have you live in the same place, or you've been to the same type of school. It is very clear. It doesn't take into account the complexity of people and the real complexity of people.
And I think that's the downside of mass marketing, isn't it? I remember when I was a marketing manager, I kind of felt that all we did was throw things at the wall to see what stuff we had. It was very much a mass marketing approach.
It was. And it's one of the wonderful things. I mean, I've been in marketing for 25 years now. And one of the things that I've really enjoyed seeing is how there's a lot more respect in a way for us as consumers, as customers. And that's been forced by customers. But it's really good because, yeah, back in the day, it was just mass marketing. It was just chuck it out there. Don't really kind of care if it's relevant or if it's intrusive. I mean, we even have the phrases push marketing, which is where you're pushing it in front of people, whether they want to see it or not. You're pushing it out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So interesting. So actually, it's quite interesting. We've got some people on the live at the moment, and they seem to be pretty up to speed with what they're keeping their ideal clients awake at night, which is fantastic. So Nikki Lloyd, she says some of them. Kate Lowe says she thinks so, but she's learning as she goes. So hopefully, Kate, you'll pick up some tips and stuff. Right. Okay. So the thing is, I understand that
psychographics.
Yeah. Thank you. What is it then that people specifically are doing wrong when it comes to identifying their ideal client persona?
So I think the first thing is not being brave enough about who their ideal clients are. And you think about this in terms of relationships. So the relationship has to work for you and for them. So when you start to think about it like that, it's like, oh, who are you best served to work with? Who do your solutions really, really fit with? And what do you want to really, what can you really give to these people? And are they right for you? So I think particularly small business owners, sometimes they're almost being exploited by their customers, or they're working with clients that are rude or that are really not great for them. And one of the things that I get people to think about is actually, who is your ideal client? And there's often a hesitation about saying, well, actually, I really like working with people with high energy, or actually, I really like working with people with low energy, or actually I want this type of client. It's first of all, it's being brave. And I do ask people to sit there and think, right, who have you worked with recently where and if you've got a team where everyone went, that was good, we really enjoyed those clients, those customers, why? And then you've got to say, well, you look at them in terms of, were they profitable for you? Because it's no good enjoying working with people if they weren't profitable, because your business does need cash and you need to keep a profit going. Did they hit that passionate sweet spot for you? We're like, yeah, I've really got to help them. We really got to help them. They really enjoyed what we did for them. They saw the benefit and it was a pleasure. So is there a bit of a passion there, and it fits in maybe with your purpose? And also, did it give you enough challenge? Because I think that you want to feel that was interesting, that was exciting, not doing that again. That was. So when you start to think about your ideal client, be really brave would be my tip. And in fact, it really helps if you've got someone in mind. If you can think, yeah, that piece of work we did the other month, then that was great. And if you've got a client with many different people in it, think, what was it about that particular client? Was there one person that really made it work? Was there like a procurement officer or a project manager in charge that really made it work? Well, yeah, I want to work with more clients who have one of those in place. So I think start there. Be brave. Be brave.
Be brave. And I think you're right, because especially, business owners, especially when you're first starting out, and I still do this to an extent, is that, we want clients, don't we? So we go, we'll work with anyone, and anyone goes, oh, anyone's my ideal client.
Yeah, anyone's my ideal client. No. Yeah. And I do think you have to kiss a few frogs, Judy. I always think of the first few years of running my own businesses as kissing frogs, where I didn't know who my ideal client was. And as a marketer, I mean, marketing is so broad. I got chucked all kinds of stuff, and I'd kind of go here and there. And then I'd think, actually, you didn't listen. Or I mean, one of my first, I'll be very discreet, but one of my first clients, I was sent to work with a farmers collective who needed a leaflet to promote selling produce. And I turned up and I went, well, your website's really clunky and you can't really buy easily. They're like, yeah, we know, but can you do this leaflet to get us more customers? I said, well, I can, but where are you sending them to? Well, to the website. I went, but your website isn't that great. Can you just do the leaflet? So I was like, okay. It was literally my first piece of paper. So I went and did this leaflet, and it took me ages to drive there, because it was like one of those places that was 10 miles on the map that actually took like 45 minutes. And I got lost. And then I delivered their leaflet and they put it out. I followed it up 2 weeks later and went, your marketing's crap, it didn't work. And what had happened, I just said, well, did you make those changes to your website that I said that the pay that? No. It's like, oh, and then I thought, right, ideal client, you know, a flag for me then was, would they actually listen, or did they just want a point solution? Did they just want give us that solution? That's all we want. We're not going to listen to you. And when I still come across people like that, and I just think, I'm not the person for you. You know, I like to take a step back, look at the bigger picture, get you to look at your whole client journey. And if you don't want to listen to that, so that was quite an early lesson for me about one of my frogs that I kissed. They were not my ideal.
And that I think is so important, because that there, they don't get the result they want. You know, and you don't, and they blame you.
Yeah,
because marketing.
And they now think marketing's crap, and that's in their heads now. So they're not going to progress as a company. You know.
Exactly. And I think that's the danger, isn't it? If you're not really clear, if you say you can work with anyone, if you're not really clear on that, you're going to get people who just really aren't going to work with you, who actually are motivated, and things like that. And I think one of the things that you said to me about why it's important to go into that depth and not just rely on geographics is because, you know, what somebody says they think they want isn't necessarily what they need, and you've got to dig past that, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things. So if we all bought what we needed, we'd all be kind of slim, fit, and personal trainers, and gyms would just be rammed, and we'd all be eating, you know, good, healthy vegetables. We do what we want, and we do what we want. And that's, again, where you've got to really understand your people's motivations, their hopes, their fears, their dreams. What do they want? And people will make a decision to choose you when you're offering them what they want right there and then. There are some exceptions. You know, when I worked in the corporate world and public sector, we had to get things that we needed, but even then, you know, I've been on the end of the buying end, where the companies that we went for, the ones that ticked the boxes but something wasn't quite right, where you felt, can I trust them? Do I respect them? Do I think they're going to do it? And those are emotional things. You have to kind of quantify it, but if those weren't right, you'd find a reason, be like, oh, I don't think they've got the right people, or, you know, their reviews didn't come back 100%. You will then justify your emotion. We all do it.
100%. We buy on emotions first, don't we? We choose that. So if you can get into the emotion of your ideal client and talk about that, that's where you're going to get that hook straight. Well, I don't say hook, that's not the right word, but you're going to get that rapport and empathy. Honestly,
it's a rapport and empathy. And I think I do want to make one point, because one of the things that marketing is, you know, as an industry, there's so much that, you know, it is quite shameful that we do, and it's the playing on the negativity, on the negative emotions, playing on the fear. When I say understand what keeps them awake at night and what they're afraid of, it's so that you can offer a positive solution, not so you could go, oh, you know, if you don't sort your marketing out, your company's going to die and burn. It's just like, no, you know, and it's just no. It's kind of like, look, we can help, we can solve this problem. And again, I think that kind of that approach to how you deal with people's fears, how you deal with what's worrying them, that also is a key part of your marketing, because it's showing that you're respecting them. And then I would hope that for anyone listening, a lot of our ideal customer profile is we want the people that we respect and they respect us. So that has to be mutual. It should not be an exploitative relationship. It really 100%. Shouldn't.
Yeah, 100%. You said that, you know, before, the relationship has to work both ways.
The relationship has to work both ways. Absolutely.
I love that. And I think one of the things as well that is that we've got to understand, by understanding their feelings, their hopes and their fears, we then understand what are they thinking. Yes. And you had a lovely story about when you first started out doing this, coming out the corporate world, is that you thought everybody'd be going, oh, I need a marketing strategy.
Yeah, so one of the things that, so I'm a marketing strategist, so that means I'm the person that takes a step back, helps you figure out how you find and keep and look after your ideal clients in the marketing process. So I'd go out going, and I know most of the people I work with, whether it's as direct clients or on my courses, they need marketing strategy help. Nobody comes to me and goes, I need help with my marketing strategy. No, they do not use those words. They use words like, I don't know if my marketing's working. My marketing's really stressful. Our marketing doesn't seem to get results. Those are the words they use. So that's where me understanding what's keeping them awake at night allows me to say things like, does your marketing keep you awake at night? That's much, for those of you listening, do you resonate with that? Or do you resonate with, do you need a marketing strategy?
No, I don't.
No, I don't. Yeah.
And I learned clients. That's what people go, I need more conversations, more clients.
And I want my marketing spend to work. Yeah, I don't want to sit there going, oh, I've spent this money. I don't think it got me the results, but I don't know. Did it get me the result? Yeah, no, nobody says I need a marketing strategy. So, yeah.
And I was thinking it was interesting because we said about this before, because I was going, oh, well, and it is similar to LinkedIn, because nobody had said to me they need a LinkedIn strategy, but they want LinkedIn to work better.
Yes.
And it's the same principle, isn't it?
It's the same thing. It's like my feelings with LinkedIn. One of the reasons that when I kind of heard you speak, I was like, oh, it's like I've always got this feeling in the back of my mind that I'm not quite using it as well as I could. That's for me the driving emotion. And when I came to your talk, I was thinking, oh, I know that I've not quite got it right. But I didn't go, oh, I need a LinkedIn strategy and I need it. Yeah. So we kind of, it's totally different. So what I would say for those of you that are joining us is really think about what is your ideal client thinking, how are they wording the problems that you can help them with? What are their words, not your words? Don't make my mistake.
That is really, really interesting, Cara, because that's what I say to people. Because I go and I say to people, what are they saying to you? Because sometimes I talk about writing profiles and posts and things. What is it they're saying to you? So it, like you say, it's their words, their feelings, their thoughts, everything else, isn't it?
Yeah. And a lot of that, as you said, Judy, it comes from listening to people. It comes from, like when I do a lot of talks, a lot of presentations and networking, and I listen to what are the words people are saying? How are they describing it? It's like really interesting, your opening where you talked about ICP, ideal customer profile, and you said how it had been a persona, had been an avatar, and words change, and the words that people will use to describe their problem will change. So you've got to always be listening, always observing, and kind of thinking, what are they saying? What are they saying?
Exactly. So if anybody's got a question for Cara, please do pop it into the comments box and we can go in and answer those. And interestingly, there was I've just lost it. It's Paul here. This made me laugh because he says anyone who uses a kissing frog's nose is a friend for life. You've got a friend for life there.
As Paul kissed a lot of frogs too in his business journey.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's just get down to some of the nitty-gritty of actually how do we go about it, because getting to grips with who your ideal client is, in my opinion, not easy, because like you say, it's easy to go, well, they're based in, they're based here, this industry, whatever. And it's one of those things that sounds easy, or I think it sounds easy, but isn't actually. So how do we actually start getting that psychodemographic?
So the psychographics. Psychographics. That's okay. So how do we start getting that data together? Start by picking someone. So if, for example, you're sat there thinking, right, I did some work with Judy Parsons. She was brilliant. I loved having her as a client. Why? What was the work that you did? Why did you love working with her? What was going on there? And really start to unpick that. And then in the nicest possible way, go and stalk them. Go and sit down. Yeah, observe them. Think, right, I can see that Judy's on LinkedIn. What is she posting? What is she commenting? What does she say? What's her approach? How can I kind of observe her and just see what your ideal client or clients are doing. And somebody did comment about, I've got more than one ideal client. And it's kind of, what are they doing? What are they doing? How are they acting in public? So that's your very first stop. The next one is go and talk to them. It's really, really easy. It could be as simple as, I'm doing a little bit of research. I've got 5 questions. Can I just have a 10-minute phone call with you? And and it might be things like saying, right, actually, how would you describe your marketing at the moment? So these are questions I ask people. I say, well, how's your marketing going right now? Big open question. See what they say, see what's bothering them, see whether, what comes up for them, and then just listen and make notes. And then you might think, right, okay, I know this person's my ideal client. I think this person is too. This. Go and ask 10 of them. Go and ask 10 people. Say, can I just have a 20-minute call with you? I'm doing a little bit of market research. Be really honest. Most people are really helpful. Keep it short and conversational. Make sure that you, if you've got something like a Fathom note taker, but you're taking some notes so that you can literally see their exact phrases. And when I do this, I mean, I love writing things out. I will literally, someone will say something, I'll be like, oh, that's the phrase, and I'll have a piece of paper with like notes on big circles and arrows going, this is how they're using it. So observation first, do some desk research and observation, and then actually go and ask them and listen to them. And then you might want to go even more in depth. I've worked with some people. I've said, I worked with someone recently. I said, right, go and find 10 people in your network and book 10 cups of coffee. Yeah. And that's what she did. And it was brilliant. It was brilliant. And she's just having 10 cups of coffee. And it's what's going on in your world right now? Where are the blockers? Where are the problems? What are you doing to solve them? It's not it's a listen. It's getting this, and it's a listen. It's not a sell. It's not where there's problems. I can help you do that. I mean, you can say, okay, and if they say, well, what are you doing? You have to be prepared with I'm able to help people do this, and see what they say. But you're going in with curiosity.
It's a research, isn't it? You're going in to research, and I think it's key, because stalking people and going back to that
observing,
observing. It's not a mass marketing thing. We're being really quite targeted and niche, isn't it, in terms of who we're going after, because it's to do that observation piece on a large, even 100 people would be too much. So it's about getting a slice, isn't it?
It's definitely a slice.
I just want to touch on Fathom. I don't know if Sarah can pop it into the comments. I love Fathom. Somebody introduced Fathom to me. FATHOM, and it records calls. Yes. Brilliant. And it gives you a nice summary of what they said. So highly recommend that if you're going to do online research calls with your ideal clients and stuff. Definitely.
But still have your pen and paper to hand for one of those phrases, and they pop out. You will know when you hit them. They'll pop out. You'll be like, oh my gosh, that's such an incredible way that they phrased it, or what they've said for it.
I love that. I think that's the first thing would be to get a list of potential prospects, I guess, that you're looking at that would look kind of right for you.
And would look right for you. Yeah. And then
think looks right. Yeah.
And you think looks right for you based on what you know. And again, it very much depends where your business is at. So some businesses might say, right, at the moment, we really need people that need to solve the problem right now and are ready to buy right now. And this is something I cover with my growth pathways. And that's your ideal fit clients. Well, the things that they're going to be saying are, who can do this for me now? What is the quickest way to solve X or Y? And it's finding out what the X or Y is. And so it's kind of, really start to pop those in. I mean, I've got an old-fashioned spreadsheet, but I just have a spreadsheet. I've currently got 54 names on it, and I'm just working my way through thinking, can I help these people? Yes. Do they want my help? What do they think their problems are? And just working my way through it. Sometimes it's that good old footwork that you have to just get out there and do.
I'm going to steal that, Cara, definitely. So actually, you're right. There was a question here from Catherine, who did say she struggles, so she has 2 or more ideal clients. Do you come across this a lot, and what impact does that have on your marketing and your LinkedIn conversations?
I do come across this a lot. What I would say is, depending on the size of your business, how many can your business bear? If it's a small business, it's often, I would not recommend more than 2 or 3. You have to prioritize. You have to prioritize, because in terms of, with your marketing, you've got to think, where do I put my marketing resource? And even if it's that same, so say you've got 2, you might say, right, 60% of my time, marketing time and effort and money is going to go on this ideal client group, 40% on the other. And then I would recommend you work on one first. When you work on one first, what you then find when you look at the psychographics is that actually they tend to have the same problems, but what might differ is how they want to solve those problems. So it might be that one group want to solve the problem with a DIY solution or a light touch solution. Another group might want to solve that problem with you coming in and doing the work, doing full-on work. So I've got 2 ideal customer profiles. One is where people want to come on my programs and they want me to show them how to do it, and then the other one is where they have the same problems, but they want me to come in and sort it out themselves. And there are differences in the geodemographics. The one where they want me to show them tend to be the smaller business owners. It might just be them in their business. The other ones tend to have maybe 10 to 20 employees. The problems are the same. Their marketing isn't working as well as they want it to work, and they want it to be solved. So the underlying problem is the same. So when you've got more than one ICP, ideal client persona, have a look at what's underneath it, go into those psychographics, and then it's actually it's often the same problem. So your marketing can be talking about those problems, and then it's like, and I can solve the problem in this way or this way. So have a look and see what the commonalities are. And that's why it's important to get away from geodemographics, because the commonalities are going to be around their motivations, their hopes, their fears, what they want to achieve, what their problems are.
Fantastic. That's lovely. Thank you. So what I want to, my last question of the day for you, I know we've got loads of more information there that you could talk to us about, but what I wanted to do is just to give people some practical, steps they can do now to actually get them started. So we've already sort of said, go in and identify at least 10 people. But, what else can they do to help them get clearer on who their ideal client really is?
So talk to other people, it is that research piece. It's look at your own data. So sometimes I've worked with people where they're quite surprised and they go, oh, that was more profitable than I thought. Oh, they didn't take as much time as I thought. So look at your own data and analyze your own clients. There are various ways you could do that. You could just do a simple ABCD where you say A is our top-notch client, love working with them, they paid on time, they were profitable, they gave us a great review, they thought were great. D, they moaned every step of the way, they were hard to work with, they didn't pay, they cost us more effort. What kind of come up with a ranking. So look at your own clients and then start to extrapolate that. And I've just seen like a couple of people have said things about I'm finding it difficult to get in front of my ideal clients on LinkedIn in the first place. Well, that might even be, how are they using LinkedIn? Because everybody uses LinkedIn differently. So I work with some clients and they go, my ideal clients are corporates. Well, people that are employed use LinkedIn very differently to those of us that are running our own business. So how are they using the LinkedIn? And in that case, that's where kind of the good old-fashioned going out to your network and going, hey, Cara, I see that you know Judy. I'd like an intro to Judy. Are you happy to make that intro, please? Sometimes it is as easy as doing that. And that's where being part of a good network can really, really help too. If you're part of an active network, so I'm part of a couple of networking groups. And one of the things people will say is, I would like an introduction to these types of people. Can someone do that for me?
Yeah. And, for me, if I was to answer Kate's question about, getting in front of her ideal clients and that few accept her connection requests, I would actually be looking at, what's her headline? What are you saying in your connection request, if anything? Because, if nobody wants to speak, don't think Kate will have this on there, but, nobody wants a salesperson.
Yes. Oh, I
Oh,
do that. If I see somebody has in their title sales or growth, whatever, anything that says sales growth, I will often, if I see other people that I know them, I'll accept. And then if the first thing they do is pitch to me, I disconnect from them. Because I
yeah,
just think, no, I want the
exactly.
relationships.
Yeah,
I want
you want
the,
a
I
relationship.
want
No,
the,
absolutely.
this
So I
is a
think there's two
networking
things
platform.
there. Like you say, are they, are the people that you're trying to connect with, are they actually active on LinkedIn? Because like
Yes.
40% of people, there's only 40% of people who are on LinkedIn who are actually active.
I was really
Lots of people
shocked
on
when you told
LinkedIn.
me that stat. Yeah.
So it just may well be they're just not on
Mm.
LinkedIn,
Yeah.
or they're looking at your profile and going, I don't want to connect with you. Don't like
Yeah.
you. I wouldn't believe that for a minute, Cope, but
Or I don't need that, or I don't
or
need
I
that.
don't
They might
need
be
that.
thinking, I don't
Exactly.
need that.
I don't
I
need
don't
that.
need that.
So again, that
And
comes back to the messaging, understanding your clients and going, actually, what
understanding
do
them.
I need to put in my
Yeah.
headline that's going to make
Yeah.
them go, oh, because that's
Yeah.
what the job of your connection request is, to get them to accept so you can have a conversation.
Yeah.
And they just need to go, oh, yeah, that might be interesting.
Yeah. And I've changed my headline in light of that, where and the other thing I would say is, don't think it's a one and done, because people change. And Suzanne has put on, would you recommend getting expert help in
Well, I
identifying
was
customer
going to bring that
personas?
up next, yes.
And what I would say, sorry, what I would say, Suzanne, is it is really hard to look from the outside into your business. It is really hard. And a great analogy I was given is that when you're inside the jar, you can't look from the outside in. And that's the same for all of us as business owners. It's why I have a business coach, because I can't look from the outside in. And so I would say get help, because there are things that you will not be able to see because you are too close, because you're looking at it from this point of view, where someone from the outside looking in will go, well, this is really clear, or that is really clear. So yes, I'd say if you can, do so. I mean, it is possible. I did train myself to do some really, where I train myself to be my own client, but honestly, the effort it takes, I have to go through a whole series of mental contortions to imagine literally that I am not me, that I'm me looking in at my business. And then after 10 minutes, I'll be like, but you have remembered this and this. I'm like, no, now you're acting like a client. And in the end, I just thought, yeah, it's much easier to have a business coach to go through this with me.
Well, can you believe, Cara, we've actually gone over time here.
Sorry.
And I just wanted to, I thought this is no, it's really good. It's really good. But I thought this was a good opportunity just to mention, because you're running a marketing clarity masterclass, aren't you, on the 13th of April, which is an hour. So if anybody wants any more help,
it's a free one. It's a free one.
Yeah, a free one. Anybody wants any more help with that, we'll put a link to that in the comments, and people can have a look at that and come along and learn some more wonderful marketing tips to get them excited about their marketing again.
Yes, enjoy your marketing. So
enjoy your marketing. So I just want to say a big, huge thank you, Cara, for joining us today. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody watching us live. And if you're on the replay, if you've got any questions, please do bob them in the comments box. Both Cara and I will keep an eye out and come and answer those for you. But until next month even. Well, it will be next month, next week, won't it? Well, until next time, thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.